Auckland are clinging on to their hopes of retaining the Mitre 10 Cup Premiership title they won last year and face a must-win match against the Southland Stags at Eden Park. It's the second week of a North Island trip for the Stags. They've never won a national championship game at Eden Park. In fact, they haven't won here in Auckland since 1939. So they'll be out to try and upset the odds, and 80 years of history. Just a couple of changes from the side that battled hard before losing in New Plymouth last week. Lewis Ormond out, and in comes Tawasosi Tuamavavi on the wing. A late change in the midfield. Rain Nu'u was supposed to wear jersey 12, but he's out. Moses Palitolu comes in. Only other alterations in the reserves where prop Howard Silly Loto and Queensland outside back Seb Wildman come into the team. Richard Kahui joins me again in commentary tonight. And Richard, Stags, I guess, no pressure on them, but all sorts of pressure mounting on this Auckland team.
Yes, and it's been a big week of soul-searching for Alama Ieremia's side that was embarrassed against Tasman last week. But Scott Scrafton and Dalton Papali'i should add some much-needed steel to the Auckland defensive line. Riedlinger Kappa moves to 8, which forces All Black Akira Ioane to the bench. Ruru will combine with Plummer in the halves, and there's a shuffle to the outside backs with the powerful Rayasi's return. Sees Talia move to the centres and Clark to the right wing. 2 changes to the bench, Akira Ioane and Tamua Manu.
Yeah, big change that at number 8, isn't it? Waimana Riedlinger Kappa coming in at 8, and Akira Ioane, who's looked a bit out of sorts this season, he's back on the bench. Well, there was rain earlier on, and I'm very pleased for our friend Willie Lossey that it appears to have cleared away.
Yeah, it has. Good afternoon, Tony. That nice westerly that will favour the team playing left to right as you watch it on your screen. Spoke with both coaches. Alama Ieremia said the word today is urgency. Dave Hewitt asked his young men to get excited.
Yeah, Braden Mitchell coming back this year from a serious neck injury, and he's leading the side out. Would have been a huge weight off the shoulders of this young team to finally get that win over Counties Manukau a couple of weeks ago. First in almost 3 years. They were well in the hunt last week in New Plymouth before Taranaki blew it out in the second. They've got a game against Bay of Plenty still to come. Tall order to try and win this game, but they can throw everything they've got at it. And I guess one incentive to stay ahead of Northland down the bottom of the championship table. Braden Mitchell, you can see there, he's come back from that injury. He made his name as a hooker, played for the Highlanders, Hurricanes and the Chiefs these days. Just happy to be back playing at all, and he's packing down on the side of the scrum, showing his versatility. Marty McKenzie, a class performer in the Stags backline, just so important to his team's hopes of a good performance against one of the big shots of provincial rugby, and maybe cash in on some of the pressure that is facing this Auckland team just to stay in the race for the top 4. Auckland have never really got into any winning rhythm this season. Beaten in their last 2 games here at Eden Park by Wellington, and then really taken apart by Tasman in Nelson last week, 40-0. That would have really hurt, and in grave danger of missing out on the playoffs. Certainly the result last night with North Harbour winning didn't help their chances. Bonus point win is really what they need here, and they'd still have work to do against Taranaki next week. But they're back home. They were beaten here last time out by Wellington. They wouldn't have been happy about that either. Dalton Papali'i making a welcome return. Auckland had a few problems with injuries to their loose forward. Skipper Blake Gibson again out of action for this one, but Papali'i is back and also returning to the starting 15 after spending much of last week's game on the bench. Salesi Rayasi, one of the most exciting young players in the country. Grace Muggeridge, who's just turned 5 and about to start at Waterloo School. A little bit slow out of the blocks, but picked up speed on the way out there. It's a long way to go when you've only just turned 5. That, well, I think Marty McKenzie already got one. He said, you can take that one back. Little wave to the crowd. Good on you, Grace, and good luck at school. Here's our ref, Tim Griffiths, Tim Olive, and Aggie Cogger-Orr are the assistants. Ben Deacon is the TMO, and we're all set for a high-scoring match a little bit early this afternoon between Auckland and Counties Manukau in the Whara Palmer Cup. Auckland won that one. Can they do the double? So Marty McKenzie starts the match here at Eden Park. And Auckland playing right to left as we look at them in the first half. Ruru coming back into the side at half-back this afternoon. Only Tusitala started last week in Nelson, so immediately going to the boot, and easy for Josh Morby. No real pressure on him at all from that kick. So Southland are going to get the ball just inside the Auckland half here. Charles Alaimalo driven back in the tackle, playing at number 8. McKenzie now put a little kick over the top. Greg Pleasance-Tate asked to chase that one. Ruru came across, kicked out towards the wing, put it out on the full. But not a great start, really, for Jonathan Ruru. Box kick that amounted to nothing much, and that one's gone out on the full.
Big get, please.
Yep, but the game's underway, and it'd be interesting to see how Auckland go, playing into the breeze, how they kick. I'd imagine playing into the breeze, they'll put it high and contest.
Get down. Get down.
But Morby did well under the high ball.
Well, here's Greg Pleasance-Tate,
2 meters, please. 2 meters.
who has travelled far and wide around New Zealand during his rugby career. Great experience under his belt. And they go to Matt James at the front of the line out. McKenzie taking it to the line. Little show of the ball, left it behind in the end, but it's picked up by Morgan Mitchell. Hard-working tight head prop who's had a good season in this side. Slipping the first tackle, Charles Alaimalo, who's the brother of the very talented Solomon Alaimalo. Here's the replacement midfield back, Moses Falitolu. And a penalty goes to Southland. Auckland not rolling away at the breakdown.
Number 5,
Jack
not rolling.
Wetton, the man getting up off the deck and being pointed at by the referee. And so here's an opportunity for Southland to get the ball down deep into Auckland's half and see if they can mount something early on in the game.
Yeah, and Coach Dave Hewitt would have talked about how important the start is here. See, Auckland struggled last week. They'll have some doubts in their game and the way they've been playing. So Southland a real opportunity. Line it on the 22. Let's see what they can cook up here.
And Southland taking their time getting to the line out. Want to cash in on this opportunity. Pleasance-Tate this time goes towards the middle, and Mike McKee pulls it down. Well, the pass from Crowley not connecting, so Auckland are going to get it back. And Marcel Renata with the offload. Ruru fires the pass away. Sensing a chance to break out, they give it to Rayasi, and off he goes. Good covering tackle made, though. It was the centre, Isaac Tatamaki, getting across and nailed the very dangerous Salesi Rayasi.
Yeah, and that's why he's back in the side, Rayasi. He's got plenty of speed, plenty of power, and he's one of the top 10 in just about every offensive category. Offloads, metres gained. They've got to get him more ball today.
That one's tapped down on the Auckland side, so they win one against the throw. Renata taking it away. Ruru, big show of the ball, throws the dummy, off he goes. Supporting runner is Waimana Redlinger-Kapa, and Auckland score first. Referee just wants to check something here, though.
Did you see anything there?
I think they're pointing back to where the initial break was made, Richard. Maybe a suggestion of a little bit of an obstruction.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. I didn't see anyone boggle the ball at the bottom of that ruck.
Charles Alaimalo is the one that they're looking at, Tony. He was the man standing at first defender, and all of a sudden a huge gap appeared that Ruru went through.
Well, that's definitely what they're looking at. Can't really see anything there. What do you think?
No issue with the clean out. He's gone past the ball, and I think Marcel Dennis just put his hand on, was it Marty McKenzie, but I don't see an issue there.
What's that, sorry, Ben?
Yeah, Marty McKenzie's close to the ruck, but he would never have got there. This is just Ruru with his electric pace off the base, and Alo Malo had gone too far across. That's where that gaping hole was that he ran through.
Yeah, to be fair, he has dragged him out of the way. I don't think he's going to rule the try out, is he? No, he wants a word.
We've reviewed that, and we're happy that he wasn't taken out. Try stance.
Yeah, well, okay, they've given benefit of the doubt there. The try is confirmed. So Waimana Riedlinger Kappa, first try of his career with Auckland, finished it off nicely wearing the number 8 jersey. Harry Plummer converts, and Auckland leads 7-0.
Riedlinger Kappa did so well just to support up the middle of the field off the Ruru break. First try, well done, congratulations, kid.
High restart from McKenzie, and straight back into the action is Waimana Riedlinger Kappa. Ruru looks like he's going to kick. And again, puts it high, drifting over the touchline, is it? Yes. He was inside the 22. Interesting to see Waimana Riedlinger Kappa, Willie at number 8. Akira Ioane just really hasn't got going in this competition, has he? Which is a bit sad for someone of his talent.
Yeah, absolutely. He's played a lot of Super Rugby, so he needed a rest. And Riedlinger Kappa, of course, was at Mount Abbott Grammar, was the captain of the secondary school, playing lock, moved to the blind side, but he did play number 8, I'm told, for Ponsonby this year.
Down the back they go, and McKee wins the line out, so Southland stung by that. Tuamavave takes it into the tackle. Now they switch. Tolo moving it across to his left. Oh, beautifully taken. How did he do that, Caleb Clark? That's Michael Jordan stuff. That reached up into the air, pulled it down with one hand. That's extraordinary. I have to have another look at that at some point. And now Faiani breaking clear. This is a real danger sign here for Southland. And Caleb Clark finishes it off. It's not the finish, though. It's how he started it.
It's certainly not the finish, but boy, how did he hold that ball? He just threw the right hand up there, pulled it down. Look at this. Oh, left hand. Oh, wow. He's got that sticky stuff on his hand for sure. And then from there, TJ Faiani, we wanted to see more from him today, and he started well. And he puts Caleb Clark with that much speed and that much room in front of him. You're not going to stop him, but I'm not sure about that dive there, Willie.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, it was Beckham Jr., like, who plays for the Browns in the NFL. He knows those one-handed catches, and they will miss him. Now that he's made himself valuable for the New Zealand All Black Sevens team for the Olympics next year, he's a quality player, and he knows how to finish.
Well, Caleb, his father, Eroni, great player for Auckland, and of course an All Black. He went down to Nelson last week. He would have been disappointed. I guess Auckland just didn't really get into the game. No real opportunities for the likes of Caleb Clark to shine, but boy, made up for it with that. Now, Harry Plummer, clock might be ticking here on Plummer. So he's got a little bit of time left, but not a lot. Here's the attempted conversion, drifting away to the left. So no conversion, but Auckland have 2 tries already. Caleb Clark gets the second. Auckland 12, Southland 0. So not the start that the visiting team would have wanted, but exactly what Auckland needed after suffering back-to-back defeats in recent weeks against top-of-the-table opposition. They need the maximum here today. High kick contestable turn. Oh, more great skills from Caleb Clark. He's putting on a bit of a skills clinic here early on in this game. Hodgman carrying it up over halfway. Ruru digs it out. He's looking dangerous when he's running, Ruru. Wetton making another couple of metres. And away they go to Faiane, quickly through the back line. Talia moves it on and knocking it up and then pulling it down. Salesi Reasi, but goes over the touchline.
Well, we've seen the tactic already from Auckland when they kick. They're kicking high, they're kicking contestable kicks. And Caleb Clark, too good on the offensive high ball take.
Lulu miscued his first 2 kicks, but everything he's done since then has been good. Jonathan Lulu. These 2 unions have been going at it for a very long time, going back to 1903. Similar scoreline, that was at 9-3. The last time Auckland lost to Southland back in 2010, it was 9-6 on that occasion. 3 penalties by Robbie Robinson. It was an all-penalty affair, and Southland grounded out at home. A bit of a worry here as Jack Wetton receives some attention, and doesn't look too good. Talking of provincial rivalries, we've got one coming up next. It's even longer. Even, I think, the longest, Otago-Canterbury, and the Ranfurly Shield at stake. I've got to say, fellas, I've got to admire the way Otago have played defending the Shield. They'll face a tough opponent in Canterbury, but Canterbury will have to work very, very hard if they want to prize the Shield away.
Yeah, they will, and Otago have looked so good at home this year. And I think we said yesterday, TJ, they've gone out and tried to win it every week. They haven't tried to defend it, they've tried to win it, and a really positive style of attack. And Willie, you've picked Otago to pull that one.
Well, yes, I have. Thanks for telling everyone.
Well, me too. I was on TAB Trackside Radio on the Friday morning thing with Brendan Laney, who couldn't pick his nose. And but we've both gone for Otago, so see how we go. Finding it a little bit tough this year, picking the outcomes of some of these Mitre 10 Cup games. I don't think we did pick Southland to beat Counties Manukau, but we didn't pick the Manawatu Canterbury game. Well, Southland have got it here. As play resumes. So we've had 9 minutes of play and just a bit of a scrap. Papali'i got in the middle of it all, and Auckland are going to get the ball here.
There's one player from their team, it's a maul.
Referee calls them all. They've kept the ball up off the ground. Auckland, Southland just unable to control it and get it to the back. And like anytime there's a collapse maul, you'll see people diving in from everywhere. And more ball for Auckland, and again Southland gonna have to defend.
Oh, they'll be pleased to have Dalton Papali'i back. Just such a good all-purpose player. Defensively, outstanding. Good support player. Rubu straight to TJ Faiane, looking to wrap around. Was that Salesi Reasi? Mackenzie had him initially, and Tatamaki eventually gets him to the ground, but Auckland have got momentum here. Scott Scrafton carrying it on. They've got the front foot trainer up in the line for the first time. Got the offload away, but it wasn't taken cleanly. Just a couple of players getting in each other's way, so it'll be a Southland scrum. There's Marcel Renata still giving us that Nacho Libre look. It's lasted very deep into the season, hasn't it?
And I'm not sure whether Jack Wetton's going to stay on the field, fellas. He's tried to run it through. He's limping and he's heading towards the sideline now. He's taken the headgear off, and I don't think he can continue. And so a big moment for Jamie Lane. His 14th game for Auckland. He'll get the blazer this evening. And that's disappointing for Jack Wetton, who's had a terrific 2019 for the Blue and White Hoops.
Big smile on Jamie Lane's face. Didn't look too sympathetic, did he? His teammate Jack Wetton, who's clocked up a lot of time this season in that Auckland jersey, but unhappily makes his way to the bench.
Crouch! Bind! Sit!
Is it not early? Yeah, it was. Yeah, because it was your red player that went early, mate. So yeah, that was maybe a bit long on that one.
Crowley and McKenzie come together, have a chat, talk through what the option is here. Do they play territory? Do they keep the ball in hand? I'd like to see Southland have a go here. TJ.
Well, as we've said, they haven't got a lot to lose here, although they'll be keen to stay ahead of Northland. Not finish on the bottom of the table.
Bind! Sit!
Got it. Crowley fires it away to McKenzie. Kick charged by Plummer. Got up very quickly and having to go back tidy up. Rory van Voet, the left winger, sends a long kick down inside Auckland territory. Caleb Clark racing back up towards halfway, taking it at great velocity into contact. Ruru comes away with it. Plummer has to go into clear and does so. Rayasi flips the pass away. Fine, oh, lovely ball out the back, but they ran out of room. And going into touch was Tanielu Telia.
Thanks, Maggie.
Yep, plenty of razzle-dazzle there for the no-look pass. He created some space on the outside, albeit only a metre. Just not enough space. But Telia to do anything to get back in play.
Just one of the Southland players getting a bit of attention now, so they'll take a little break, but it's evident in the opening 13 minutes, fellas, that Auckland's big-time players are stepping up. Faiani, Clark, and also Ruru running a lot more direct than they did 7 days ago, and that's getting them over the advantage line. It's grown in confidence.
Well, just while they take a break, tell you the interesting initiative they've come up with here. That space over on the north stand, that's up for grabs, that one. They've decked it all out. There's leather and there's mahogany there. It's very comfortable seating. There's a bar that goes with it, and they're putting it up for sale by tender for all of next year. Have a look on the Auckland website. Willie, perhaps we could get a syndicate together. you put down the deposit, mate. I'll be right behind you.
I've got $5.
I think it might cost a little more than that. Well, Salasi Rayasi goes up, pulls down the high kick. Southland had numbers after it, but it's there for Ruru. Give it away to Hodgman. Goes into the tackle of Joe Walsh, wearing number 1 for Southland. Harry Plummer now moves it on quickly through the hands to Lear. Manages to see off the tackle of Van Vught, but coming through Tatamaki, well, he's ripped it away from the referee. I think it's ruled here that the tackle had been completed. So he had to release him, and so the penalty goes against Isaac Tatamaki.
It's always a tough one for players, this one. You feel like you're still in the tackle. You got your arm around the ball, and you just can't help yourself but to pull it out. It's drawn a penalty on this occasion. The keen eyes by Tim Griffiths. It's picked up on that.
So Plummer going to put this in touch, and we'll have a look again and see what Richard Kahui is talking about. And it's a good deep kick too. Here it is here.
Yeah, you just see there, he's got his arm around the ball, and you know you can't play it on the ground, but you feel like you're still somehow entitled to it, and he's just given away a penalty.
Well, Auckland now with a line out, less than 10 metres from the corner. You can see Adrian Choate there working his way around the front of the line out. Little variation there. Looked for all the world like they were going to have a drive at the line. Papali'i picks it up and has a go. Choate again. Now Hodgman just moves it one wide of the ruck. Riddling a cuppa it was on the ball, and then just an accidental offside as Papali'i drove ahead with the ball. Bit of relief there for Southland coming under heavy pressure.
If you ask me, yeah. Yeah, no.
Yeah, they'll feel a huge sense of relief there, Southland.
But just need you to calm down, okay?
Auckland were just starting to get a roll on. Is it Jamie Lane just got in front of the ball carrier there? You can't do that. stuns the Auckland attack, but still pressure on Southland here, 5 metres out from their own line.
Logan Crowley's
Just want to get you to ask the goal line, okay?
getting himself into a fairly meaningful discussion here with the referees. Not happy about something.
Let's go, please. Thanks, there.
Crowley on loan from Taranaki. With a name like Crowley, he couldn't really come from anywhere else, could he?
No, very famous name for the Amber and Black, sorry.
Crouch!
Father played 83 games for the province.
Binds! Sit!
He was a good halfback too, wasn't he? Bit of pressure on the scrum, but he clears it away. It's a nice pass too, and here's Tolu trying to create some room for a clearing kick. Crowley puts it on the left boot and floating out towards the touchline, but not over the touchline. Another great take from Clark, and he was impeded in the air too. Referee's arm goes straight out, scooped up nicely by Trainer. And Rayasi now almost through to Tamaki. Managed to just clip his ankles. Otherwise, he was away. Moved on quickly from Scrafton. Ruru now. Plummer spotted an opening close to the ruck. Ran a good angle. Now Ruru got the strength to go around the side. Tolu made the tackle. Shoved out of the way by Plummer. Here's Jamie Lane, replacement lock. Auckland looking for their third try. Rayasi accelerating. This time they can't stop him. And Salesi Rayasi gets his 5th try of the season.
And he made it look too easy. He beat Isaac Tatamaki twice in that play. Once to get over the gain on the second one to score the try. I think Southland may even feel a sense of relief there with the tackle in the air on Caleb Clark. But Salesi Rayasi, too big, too strong one-on-one.
Well, he got on the outside of Tatamaki, and that meant that he was halfway through the gap. And then just the leg drive. He's beaten 37 defenders this season. That makes it 38.
Yeah, Tatamaki had been showing out with some good defensive work, coping with a lot of traffic coming his way, but Rayasi, he is such a gifted player.
Yeah, he's big and strong. He's got plenty of pace. And he showed it there. And like you said, Willie, the offloads, the defenders beaten. 38, I think he beat Tatamaki twice there, so we'll call it 39. But boy, he's got some talent.
So Plummer this time has it placed 5 metres in from the left wing touch. And trying to drift it back. Not quite. So Auckland lead 17-0 after the try by Salesi Rayasi. Southland kick off again. McKenzie lands it just outside the 22, and Caleb Clark is there. They're getting nice front foot ball, Auckland. A little bit slower this time, and so another kick coming up from Ruru. Kick is charged. Southland read it pretty well, but they were offside.
Number 2.
Greg Pleasance Tate, the man penalised.
An Auckland old boy, and he's been around the domestic competition, Harbour, Bay of Plenty, and now Southland. Obviously, he just crept a little bit, got his hands to the ball there.
Well, that kick has not gone into touch. Went looking for a lot of ground. McKenzie has it. Just brings it out of the 22. And puts it high. Now, who's going to take this? Ruru going back, it was awkward, but he did really well and broke away from the first tackle. So good work from Ruru. Now, Trainer moving it on. And Riedlinger Kappa ranging out wide this time and tried to get the offload away. In fact, does well to keep it alive. Rayasi, who just has an uncommon ability to stand in the tackle and wait for an option to present itself. Reeling a cuppa again. Showing out in the number 8 jersey. Great workload from him. Renata moving it on quickly to Plummer now. It's Scott Scrafton. Well, they're holding on defence, but can they hold any longer? Floated over the top. Here's Clark. The step brushes off the first. Eventually taken down from. That's a great tackle by Morgan Mitchell, but the referee has the arm out. TJ Faiane goes to the line, and he's over. 4th try for Auckland.
And Auckland would have talked a week about a start like this. 4 tries, the latest to TJ Faiane. And it comes off a patient build-up. A good bit of work. It was Jonathan Ruru that took the high ball. They started the momentum. And look here, a late wrap ball, pass over the top from Harry Plummer. And Caleb Clark, he goes so close. That's great footwork. And then TJ Faiane, 3 metres out. Too easy.
Just love the width that Auckland are playing with at the moment. They take it from one side of the field where you've got Redlinger Carper running down the left side of the field, and then they go back towards where the suburbs flyer is and Caleb Clark. And, well, TJ Faiane, he's a terrific leader. And I think they were watching the game that you two were commentating last night, and they were hungry to score points like North Harbour.
Yes, what a game that was. It was all North Harbour, and then in the end they ended up just clinging on to win. High-scoring match, but that was a hugely significant result. That we'll tell you after this kick from Harry Plummer exactly why. He's about 7 metres in from the right wing touch. It's up nice and high, that one, and over. Struck it well, so try converted. Auckland race out to 24-0. The upshot of North Harbour winning last night, first and foremost, it means that Tasman can't be headed at the top of the table. They've got 2 games to spare, but you see Wellington, 32 points, can finish no higher than 2nd. Canterbury still to play. North Harbour, well, they're in the top 4 at the moment, but Auckland now with an opportunity, certainly to push past Canterbury for the moment. Canterbury with a game to play later on. Waikato, the other team in contention. Counties Manuka now certain to be relegated. Oh, good contestable kick again, but it's well taken by Josh Moorby, the Southland fullback, very close to the line under a bit of pressure, but they've got it away. Oh, Marty McKenzie took his eyes off the ball, and eventually they have got it under control, but they've lost ground. They get a penalty out of it all.
High tackle.
Probably lucky there, Southland, to pick up a penalty for a high tackle. The ball was in behind McKenzie there, and he's knocked it back. But he's done well to get back and down to it and drawn a penalty with a high tackle, but...
Time off. How's that tackle? Yeah. Is that all right?
Oh, there it is now. Just slipping up a bit high. I think it was the open side flanker. Oh no, in fact, it was Craig Smith.
I'm gone. Get off.
Doofy, they call him.
Hold on.
And he spent
Get off the field.
5 years. He played a couple of games for Southland about 6 years ago. He spent the next 5 years in the Bees. He's made his way back into the A team. Not much of a welcome when this happens to you. McKenzie should be able to kick this pretty deep into Auckland territory. Just have another quick look at that points table again. So there's the top 4. Tasman, Wellington, North Harbour, Canterbury. Tasman and Canterbury still to play. This is a live standings. Auckland 24 at the moment with the bonus point. live premiership standing. So that's if the game were to end at this score. Braden Mitchell driving the ball up towards the 22. Joe Walsh put on the ground. It's there for Crowley. Now, can they get something going towards the end of the first half? Mitchell again winds up, but he's met good solid defence. Joe Walsh gets the ball away. Music fans will love that name. I don't know whether that Joe Walsh has got a Maserati that does 185. Crowley slips a nice ball away to Mitchell. Haven't really had any prolonged possession for some time, Southland. Oh, good bust here from Matthew James into the 22 and the offload too. Here's an opportunity, cleared away nicely by Craig Smith. Alai Malo wrestled to the ground about 10 metres out from the line. It's there for Crowley. Again, Braden Mitchell tries to drive a hit. Referee has the arm out for Southland. Crowley showing his frustration there. McKenzie, wide pass, good one. Tuimavave trying to get on the outside. Pleasance Tate is there. They shunt him over the touchline. They'll come back for the penalty.
Thank you.
Be interesting to see what Southland do here.
So under 15.
I'd imagine they'll go to touch. Maybe even a scrum.
Number 3, not rolling.
Best passage of play. They held on to it for 10 phases, and the lovely break by James as well. They got them well and truly into the backfield. Nice run from the loose forward. Then he was supported well. Alai Malo carried on a number of occasions, and so did Braden Mitchell. Good defence from Auckland at the end.
Yeah, the tackle from Talia was a good one.
Go, please.
Pleasance Tate waiting hopefully out on the touchline, but got barreled over the line. But they come back, they're going to take a scrum here.
Yes, mate, then.
Interesting option here from Southland. I thought they might have gone to touch and back be more. The Southland back set up flat.
And Richard Josh Morby ran over and had a word with McKenzie and also Crowley, and then ran back out wide.
Well, we know Auckland's going to bring line speed here, so look for Crowley to step out, maybe run a little and try and pick up a runner coming back under.
The scrum is solid. In fact, they're driving ahead here, and they're going to get another penalty. That's a great scrum from the Stags. They're getting close to the line here. Now they release it. McKenzie steps back the other way. Van Voot, he's put on the ground. No, referee says penalty. Well, you'd fancy another scrum here.
Angle.
Yeah.
Angle.
Braden Mitchell just asking the question, how far back do they have to go before you start thinking about a penalty try?
Well, that would have been a pretty good argument for one. Auckland were going backwards at a rate of knots. The reverse lights were on. And Southland, just the power. See Braden Mitchell, the hooker usually, is playing at 6. Just lost their shape after they got the ball out, Woolley, but a good scrum from Southland. Yeah,
and thankfully McKenzie is back on his feet as well. Thought that when they had that penalty advantage, they may have thrown it wide or gone for a kick cross field. Boy, that's a terrific scrum. That's going to give them some confidence.
Here's Braden Mitchell. Real beacon of experience here, Greg Pleasance Tate runs that pack. And front row's done well too. Morgan Mitchell, we've spoken about him before. He's a real character. Him on this side. You've got, say, Walsh on the other side. Pleasance Tate in the middle. A couple of big rangy locks in behind them. Let's see what they can do here against this Auckland scrum.
Down far side. We'll reset. Yeah.
Well, little chat between 9 and 10. I'm not sure how much they'll be involved.
Well, they'll be hoping none at all, TJ, after that last scrum. And I'd imagine if we see something similar, referee Griffiths will have to consider the penalty try.
Crouch!
Well, they've spotted Auckland a very good early lead. Here's their chance to get something on the board.
It's a blue. We're not going to lean in like that, okay? We need to hold our balance. We need to hold our weight, okay?
Well, he just established there now that he's watching Auckland.
Yep.
So they've given up a penalty. Now he's had a word with them. It's more to do with the pre-engage. Then he up his side in the middle of the Auckland front row.
Couch! Bind! Six!
Once again, it goes down. The arm comes out. They're playing with fire here, Auckland. They'll go to the short side. No, they don't even get it that far. Now, yeah, double blast of the whistle. I think someone could be in a bit of trouble here before too long.
So, TJ, number one is on an angle. We need to be more positive at scrum time. Hey, listen. Because hold on. So if you guys can't deal with it, I'm going to have to deal with it, okay?
Can you hear his perspective?
Yep.
He's coming straight in, so he's leaving me on the outside. So if I go square, I'm going to be on his outside. So.
Yep. I get that, but your whole body's swiveling around. What are we doing? Sure. Scrum.
Oh, tact and diplomacy there from TJ Farner. Would you mind listening to it from his perspective?
Yeah, and these forwards, they're mathematicians. They're talking about angles. Angle of launch. Yeah.
Well, sorry, Richard. I think this could be a pretty big scrum, this one. Something's going to happen here. Something's got to give. Well, this time, front row's gone down on this side. What does the referee say? Well, Malo has to pick it up off the back. Well, no penalty there. So Auckland managed to regain something at scrum time there. But now they're going to have to defend. Oh, they've got away offside. I think it was Scrafton got out very quickly. Referee's playing a head ball there. Now, it's another penalty. I guess you could say different kind of offence, but they are absolutely playing with fire here, Auckland.
Scrum.
They're on the rack. Of course you go for the scrum. And I tell you what, they were lucky that he managed to get back on his feet, Renata, because he collapsed it first and then he got back up, which the referee allowed them to play on. So Scrafton offside here, but we're back to the set piece.
Well, surely they give away another penalty. Someone has to go to the bin regardless of what the offence is. And you can see there, Braden Mitchell, they'll be enjoying this. They're well behind,
Make sure we stay high.
but just this little 5-minute spell here, the Stags have owned that.
Bind!
All right, Southland going with 2 to the left, 2 behind the scrum, 2 on the right.
Well, here's the shove again. Oh, they just couldn't control it in the back. Another penalty.
The man without the ball. No, the scrum was fine. The scrum was fine. You took the man without the ball. The scrum was fine. The ball came out the back of the scrum. 9 took the ball. So number 9 took the player without the ball.
That's 7 penalties in a row against Auckland, all deep inside their own 22.
What are we doing?
And Tony Braden Mitchell is blowing up because he's pushing forward. He couldn't see that Charles Alomalo couldn't control the ball out the back, because if he keeps it in the scrum, there's definitely a penalty try, but because it comes out of the scrum, none of the forwards are aware of it.
I am. Okay, you're going in.
It just catches the foot of Craig Smith, which pops it out the back. And Jonathan Ruru probably lucky there. Not normally a yellow card offence, but they are starting to stack on top of each other. That's penalty number 6.
Well, it's just persistent infringing, isn't it? 7 penalties to 2 the count, but the last 6 all against Auckland. But Crowley puts it in again. Auckland this time are holding it. Alai Malo has a look. Crowley pass over the top, intercepted by Jordan Trainer, turns it back on the inside to Ray Arce, misses with the initial offload, but Trainer's there to mop it up. So Auckland have dodged one here, though they've dodged a flurry of bullets, and they take it outside their own 22. Ruru now pumps it high, coming forward McKenzie. They all allow it to bounce. Crowley gets it in the end. He loses control of it. Pounced on by Whaiane for Auckland. And Lenny up beside. He says, I got this. Lane. One off the ruck. Up beside again. Likes playing halfback. Well, Harry Plummer juggles it and hangs on to it. But coming through now offside. All the irony of it. And Braden Mitchell will not be happy. He's given away a penalty there, but he's not happy with what went on inside the 22, and I think he's got every right to be.
Yeah, it's a real backbreaker that. Hard on attack and inside Auckland's 5-metre line, and an intercept to Jordan Trainer. Rayasi does really well to keep that ball in play, and then Braden Mitchell just pushing that offside line again. Gives away a penalty, and boy, you're right, TJ, they'll feel really hard done by not to have come away with the try after the wealth of possession and the penalties they had down the 5-metre area of Auckland.
Seething, I think is the word. But what it means is that Auckland have ridden out a rough patch, and here they are about to go onto the attack again. Scrafton wins the line out. Ruru runs. Pleasance Tate hangs on to him. Cleared away by Scrafton. Nice work, Riedlinger Cuppa, to keep the ball alive. Scrafton again involved, but an illegal clear out.
Clean out past the ball.
It's a Waimana Riedlinger Cuppa ping for taking someone out beyond the ball, and so Southland get the penalty. And McKenzie, well, he spots no one home at the back, and oh, what a great kick.
And maybe there is a rugby god up there somewhere. Southland win the penalty back. Marty McKenzie, what a great kick to the corner. But that's come from an infringement at the breakdown. Riedlinger Cuppa just carries on with it, well past the ruck. Well, a good call for the penalty.
It was Adrian Choate with the carry-up. I think I might have said Scrafton, apologies there. Adrian Choate in jersey 7. He's doing a good job, filling in for Blake Gibson, the injured Auckland captain. They go to the line out, and Southland have got it. And can they drive it away towards the line? And, well, they're in good spot here. Morgan Mitchell has it in the back. Coming in behind him, Matt James. But, oh no, they got in front of each other. And so it's a penalty to Auckland. The frustration continues for the Stags.
Yeah, they call it the truck and trailer. So the maul's formed, and what happens here is that they just break away. The maul doesn't naturally peel away. They've sort of broken away. And that's called your truck and trailer. It's a turnover to Auckland, and another let-off.
Heartbreak, isn't it? Because the line-out was well worked with Matthew James taking it at the front of the line-out, and then Morgan Mitchell is the man that actually makes contact with the player before Matthew James, who's got the ball, actually does, and that's the reason why they get penalised. That is tough.
So coming to the end of the first half here, just over a minute to play. Auckland off to a great start. Had to withstand a lot of attack from Southland, but they've still managed to keep the score sheet blank at the other end. Ray Arce losing it in contact, snapped up by McKenzie, so they're going to get another shot at it here just before half-time. Crowley goes right, and it's Morgan Mitchell barreling into the tackle of Scrafton. Crowley again, carried on by Mitchell. Inside the 22 they go. Now it's Joe Walsh. Crowley, McKenzie turns back to Morby, the fullback.
9-9, don't believe it.
Pleasance Tate loses the handle, and referee does blow the whistle. Thought
Let's just knock it out of his
going to be
hands.
allowed to go there for a moment.
Good play, knock on. Sorry, mate, I probably got that wrong. Going to play knock on. I probably should have.
Yeah, I think he's just acknowledged there that
Sorry, guys.
he should have played advantage because, well, he had a long way to run, but Scott Scrafton, Willie, I think he was in the clear there, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he was backing himself too. He only had to go 75 metres.
And Southland had given up. They didn't play to the whistle. They just stopped and looked at the referee as if he was about to blow the whistle, which he eventually did, which is lucky for them because he was gone.
So half-time upon us.
Crouch! Bind! Sit!
And Rudu fires it well. They're going to run it out. Fayane takes it outside the 22. Not going for touch here, Auckland. They want to finish off their work in the first half. Well, eventually, spectacularly delivered back by Marcel Renata. Picked up by Lane, offloads it away to Marcel Renata. Southland sticking to the job on a defence, and they've turned it over. Oh, well, Braden Mitchell, first half full of frustrations for him, but Auckland have got the ball back, and Rayasi moving up towards halfway. Patted on by Renata. Now Jordan Trainer, offload from him, and yet Marcel Renata says, enough. I want a drink. Off they go. Half-time at Eden Park. And Auckland, 4 tries to 0, lead Southland by 24 points.